people need to do these types of things. But this more specifically is transcendental meditation. And I want to make that distinction early on. And the reason why is because you're going to get people who are saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with meditation. Right. But when you put that transcendental meditation in, that's different. So I'm going to bring on a young man who was a student. As you guys are continuing to come on, we're talking about transcendental meditation. I'm going to bring on a young man who was a student at one of the schools that utilize transcendental meditation in one of their programs. And he's going to give you a little bit of information. It's going to be kind of an interview. And so I want you guys to gain this information so that you can know what's happening in schools, and so that you can be informed on the type of things that they're trying to bring in. And so I'm going to have Dasia. Come on, Dasia. Let's see.
Hey,
there's Dasia. So Dasia is going to introduce one of the students that she's been working really closely with. Dasia Prosper is another one who's spearheading this specifically in the area of Chicago, Illinois. She has gone to where's some places you've gone to and spoke with already?
Well, first we started off just we spoke at the Board of Education.
So Board of Education.
Okay, I'm come over here, y'all. So we spoke at the Chicago Board of Education. Look, we just gonna do this right here, okay? And Amante, he gave his speech. He wrote a letter to the board, and we went before the board to tell them what was going on, because honestly, a lot of people don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. I was actually a substitute teacher, long-term, at Amante School. This is where I met this brave young man who is now standing up and speaking out against what's been going on. And I've interviewed over 60 students and, asking them what they had experienced, what they thought about the program. And that's when the cat was out the box, and we found out that a bunch of students were taken into a dark room by themselves, where they had to do a ritual called puja.
Can you spell that? Can you spell puja?
So puja is Puja.
Can somebody put that in the comments for us? So I already told you this is going to be interactive, and we want those who are watching, the playback to know what these things are. So puja, Puja, is that correct? Okay. So can you introduce Amante for us?
Yes.
Or your student? I already said.
Yes. This is Amante. He is a dynamic young man. He's very smart. He's very brave for stepping out to speak out against something that he feels in his heart is not right. His father is also active with us and speaking out. So this is Amante, and I'll let him share about what he experienced in the schools with the program. In the schools, the program is called Quiet Time. But Quiet Time is not just quiet time. It's not just being there quiet and having peace. It's actually something very religious and deceptive. So I'm just going to let him go ahead and take the floor and share what he experienced.
All right, Monte.
Okay. I remember being a new student at Bogan and being introduced to the Quiet Time program. And it took them until my last year to bring in learning meditation. And what they would do is take students one by one into a small room that's really dark, candlelight, shades down on the windows and stuff, and no seeing in or out. So that made me a little weirded out in the beginning, but I didn't want to think much of it. They showed me a meditation technique to close my eyes and repeat a mantra while I listened to some kind of song or chant, which I asked them to translate in the end, but all they could tell me was that it meant nothing and to really just ignore it, listen closely to them do it while I, like I said, repeat the mantra.
Wow. So what are some of the things that I guess they had you do that seemed out of the ordinary? More specifically, you mentioned candle lighting, is that right?
Yes.
And what else would happen there?
Well, it was in front of some elements.
It was in front of elements like
rice and fruits and plants, incense.
Were there any pictures of anything or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
A picture of a dead guy.
A picture of a dead guy? Did it look something like this?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Like this.
And Dasia, can you tell us a little bit about this photo? Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, so this is actually
hold
Guru
it for
Dev. This was the founder's guru. So the founder is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Say that again.
Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Okay.
I may be mispronouncing that, but you can Google it.
Mm-hmm.
And Guru Dev is actually his guru. So a lot of all of the kids saw this picture when they walked into the room. They were given no notice. The parents didn't know. Mm-hmm. So this is what they saw.
This is the picture. So this is the picture, and he also said that. Thank you so much. He also stated that there were items. You said there were candles, there was fruit, and then there was this picture. Now, with the picture that you saw, did they have you? You said they had you say something, right? Now, with meditating, I usually like to think that it's breathing and things like that. But you're saying they had you actually say things based off of this person here?
Yeah.
Okay, can you get more into that?
So, they wouldn't tell me exactly what the mantra meant when I asked. Mm-hmm. They just said that I needed to repeat it and relax as hard as I could while I meditate and try to transcend or whatever it was they were trying to show me.
Okay. And this person, can you tell us his name one more time, Dasia?
This is Guru Dev, D-E-V.
DEV. And so just really quickly, you all, again, we're talking about TM, Transcendental Meditation. For those of you guys who are coming in, this is Dasia Prosper, wave. And this is a student who was involved in one of the times that they had to meditation, what they call quiet room, which involved called quiet time, which is actually involving something that is much more than just quiet time. Mm-hmm. So he's talking about that. Somebody put the name in there. Thank you so much, Latrice. They're helping us out here. So there's Dasia Prosper, and then this is Amante, a student who was involved, and he's basically been telling us, for you guys who are coming in, that it was not just meditation. He said that there were different elements, and he was told to say a mantra that he felt uncomfortable with. They said that it was no religious ties, correct? And they just said, just repeat this. So the first thing that I want to bring out is the fact that when they are talking about this quiet time or talking about meditation, they're saying that it has no religious background. Is that correct, Dasia?
That's what they say.
Okay, so they say that there's no religious ties. However, we already have Amante here who has been involved, who has said that they had a lot of things that were, completely religious. Looking at this picture that Dasia's holding up, as well as looking at other things. So I just want you guys to know that these things are happening. And I want to get Amante. How did that make you feel? Like, how did it make you feel uneasy? Just give a little more about that.
The first time I actually did it, I was me and a couple of students. We sat down on the couches, one person each, and I actually fell asleep and was unaware until I woke up. And they told me that the only thing that really snapped me out of it was a bell that they ring. I guess that's their hypnotizing. Yeah,
that sounds a lot like hypnosis. So the thing is, again, you guys, we're talking about Transcendental Meditation, TM. Okay, and Monte is here just giving us just more information. And one of the things that he just highlighted was that one of the times that he was doing the quiet time, and he fell asleep, and the only thing that woke him up was a bell. Now, we all hopefully are familiar with hypnosis, and hypnosis does things like that. And so this is not being marketed, and it's not being explained that this is hypnosis. They're saying it's quiet time and something that you can use to do what, Dasia? What are they saying that's supposed to do?
They say the benefits are to help you relax, and they really try to push, because we have, our communities, the African American communities in the inner city, in Chicago especially, we play with violence, police brutality, so they're trying to say that this can really help us, like this is what we need for our communities. But when Areyah comes on, he'll be able to share about some of the negative effects of Transcendental Meditation. It triggers anxiety. It's been seen to trigger depression, and at worst leads to suicide, which I know Shanta is a huge advocate for suicide prevention. And when you have children who are already exposed to trauma and you're introducing them into a form of self hypnosis, and psychological dissociation, it worsens the trauma that they're actually experiencing. Now, at small amounts, it's fine. Like, you don't really see those type of, effects. But it's a slippery slope. Okay. And Gina,
so it can lead to other things.
Yeah, like the more you do it, like the point is they want to get your feet wet is what I'm trying to say. And then they push you to do it more and more and more.
And then as you go deeper, it brings you more into this religious side of it. So a lot of what Dasia has been talking about is she's been spearheading this one in Chicago with CPS schools. Don't worry, guys, I'm still here. And so, just so you know, what she was talking about is basically they're presenting this, they meaning organizations who use Transcendental Meditation, and they call it quiet time. They're presenting this as a solution to the violence, to behavioral issues that you see within the system of education in various schools. So they're presenting this as a solution, but like Dasia just said, it's not much of a solution. It's something that's actually leading to things that are worse. And she mentioned someone who's going to be coming on. I like to just show you this book really quickly. It's called Transcendental Deception, and this is a book written by
Areyah Siegler.
Okay, Areyah Siegler. Now we're gonna have him on in a second, and we just want you to make sure you put this in the comments. Someone put in TM Deception. TM Deception. That is his page. TM Deception. You want to call, make sure he's coming on. TM Deception. Make sure someone puts that in the comments. TM Deception, so that you guys can know where to get more information. But this is the book. I'm going to hold it up one more time. Areyah Siegler. Here's the book where he really goes in depth. Thank you so much. Where he really goes in depth, just really about how deceitful it is and how they're really seducing and luring, people in by saying this is the solution, this is going to help you, when in all actuality it's leading to other things. And not only that, there is something called separation of church and state. So there should be no hidden religious practices being brought in through something that's supposed to help, behavior. And so, even though we have our faith and we have all that, we know that. So what I'm going to do now is bring in the author of this book, okay? And his name is Areyah Siegler. Hold on one second, you guys, while we bring him in.
So he won't be on this page, guys. He'll be on Shanta's page.
Yeah.
But you'll hear.
You will.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hey, Areyah.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good. How are you? Hold on.
I'm doing good.
There she is.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too. Well, nice to see you, Well, let me see. All the followers are saying hello. Can you see them, Areyah?
I can. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. So we just showed them your book. We introduced your book, Transcendental Deception, and we made sure they're following your page so that they can get more information on that. So that they have there. Can you just tell us a little bit about why you got involved with this TM Deception and why you felt the need to expose it?
So basically, in the 1970s, I was a TM teacher. I was actually a teacher for over 10 years.
Wow.
And for 5 years, I was one of the top executives in the TM organizations in the United States. I also did some of the original research on TM, one study at TM at Folsom Prison. What happened was I had all kinds of advanced techniques and different advanced programs. That a series of promises were made about if you did these things, you would have superpowers, invisibility. I mean, just crazy stuff. Wow. And people did it, spent a lot of money, and none of it worked. I was meditating 4 hours a day. I did it for a year straight, and nothing was happening. And I just walked away from it.
So this is something that you practice yourself.
Pardon?
So this is something that you practice yourself, and you saw that there were no results.
Practice myself, and I saw that I was involved in research. I came to realize that TM wasn't really involved in research to promote science. They were only interested in selling a product. So everything was biased and preliminary, and they took very shoddy preliminary results and made it as though the world was going to be saved by this. So it was a solution to everything based on no real decent research. So they were just selling a product, and that's basically what was going on. When I walked away, I was out of it for probably 35 years.
Wow.
In fact, Maharishi, who you mentioned before, died in 2008. I didn't even know he died until 7 years later. That's how far away I was.
Wow.
And then in about 2016, maybe about 3 years ago, I just started noticing everywhere that TM was making like a resurgence. And it seemed like every celebrity in the world was talking about it. Like Oprah Winfrey has paid for 300 of her employees to start TM.
Wow.
Ivanka Trump has paid for 40 of her employees. Major celebrities were doing it. And what I noticed was that every time there was an interview of a celebrity talking about TM, they would say, and of course, TM's not a religion. And I knew that wasn't true. I knew that was a lie.
Wow.
And so I went on their website, and all the stuff that initially TM was supposed to be about, which was higher consciousness and enlightenment, that all changed to health and feeling better and stopping violence and all this stuff.
So
and
can I ask you a question really quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Because I think you said something really key. You said TM started off as something that's supposed to lead to higher consciousness.
Right.
And then they switched it to health and wellness. Like, oh no, this is actually not higher consciousness. This is health and wellness.
Right. So what happened was they realized that in India, you could sell higher consciousness. In America, you could sell health much better because people were interested in health benefits and they could care less about higher consciousness. That's just the reality. Wow. So it's a marketing technique. So if you looked at the TM website from years ago, it was all about higher consciousness, spirituality. You look at it today and there's nothing about it. It's all this benefit, that benefit, this benefit, that benefit. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. But the point that I really want to, one point I really want to make is like what Dasia and Amante were referring to, and that is everything about TM is deception. And that's just the reality. So, for example, let me just give you a couple examples, and we go through a lot of questions.
Okay.
When you get a mantra, that's the sound that you're supposed to use when you meditate.
A sound?
A sound. It's a sound, the word that you're given.
Okay.
They will tell you that it's a sound without meaning. But the reality is that the sound is the name of a Hindu god, a Hindu deity. That's what the sound is. And in fact, when I got an advanced mantra, an advanced technique, all they did was they added the Sanskrit word nama to my existing mantra. So
can you spell that for them so they can kind of know what it is?
N-A-M-A-H.
Can someone put that in the comments? Someone put that in the comments so that we know that you're still with us. We want to make sure our audience is still with us.
Okay, so what happened was I discovered later that the word nama in Sanskrit means I bow down. So not only am I repeating the name of a Hindu god, and now, God forbid, I'm bowing down to this Hindu god. So it's like, it's on that level. And the puja ceremony that Amante began to describe, that's done in front of this photograph of Maharishi's teacher. It's not just that there's a photograph there, it's an altar. It's set up as an altar, and offerings are made to this guru by the teacher in Sanskrit, and they will never, ever give you the translation of the puja. But it's in my book, and basically what's going on is that the teacher is making 17 offerings to these Hindu gods while you're learning meditation.
Can I pause right there for a second?
Yeah.
Can we pause right there for a second? So
just
for those of you who are just now coming in, we are talking about Transcendental Meditation. We have Areyah Siegler on, who is an expert in this area. He's also written a book called Transcendental Deception. Make sure you guys check that out. He has a page on Instagram. It is TM Deception. at TM Deception. So right now he's given us a lot of information about transcendental meditation. He's spoken about how he was a part of it, how he was teaching it, and how he did tons of research. And so I want to make sure that you guys are kind of up to date with everything that we're saying for the new followers that are coming in. And so right now he's telling you what is actually happening. We've already had a testimony from one of the students involved, and now Areyah is just confirming and giving and expounding upon it a bit more. And right now he talked about how they would have them say Nama, which means I bow down in Sanskrit. And then he also talked about how there were different, it's basically an altar. So they would have a picture. Dasia is going to show you the picture. They would have that picture. They would have different elements like rice or things that they were offering to this person. And then the person who was doing transcendental, who was basically facilitating it, was doing sacrifices. Is that correct, Mr. Areyah?
Yeah, they were doing like offerings to the guru. And not only that, they tell you that you're just witnessing the ceremony, but the reality is the purpose of the ceremony is to bind the soul of the one who's learning TM to the guru.
Wow.
And they say to you that you're just bringing these items that are used in the ceremony, but in Hinduism, when somebody, they tell you you're like a passive participant, you're just witnessing. But in Hinduism, there's a concept called darshina. Darshina means that if somebody brings something that's used in a puja, they are active participants. So basically, when you bring flowers and you bring a white handkerchief and you bring 2 pieces of fruit and you pay the course fee, in their religion, you are an active participant. But they just simply lie to people and say you're just witnessing it. It's so horrendously deceptive. And the main thing is, we're talking about all this stuff. There is no way on God's green earth that this belongs anywhere near a public school. I mean, these educators have a responsibility to take care of our children. That's what they're charged with. That's what they get paid for. That's what they're educated to do. And for them to be so uninformed about what's going on in the school is absolute dereliction of their responsibilities. So they should just be ashamed of themselves that this continues for one more second in any public school.
Yes, Areyah, and also when I was at the schools and I asked the kids to kind of elaborate on the ritual, many of them told me they were instructed to participate in the ritual by dipping the rose in the flour.
Wait, say that again?
So the children told me they were told to participate in the ritual by taking the rose, the flour they were given. They gave each child a flower, and the student would hold the flour, and then at some point during the ritual, they had to dip the flour in water. I don't know what your experience was, but I know you said they were waving incense around you.
Wow. So
It's a Hindu worship ceremony. That's exactly what it is. It's a Hindu
and they're calling it
ceremony.
quiet time to cover it up.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's the deal.
Okay, really quickly, I want to just interject really quickly, you guys, for those of you who just came in. We're talking about Transcendental Meditation, aka TM. We're talking about how they present this quiet time. They present it as quiet time, or a way to be able to manage your emotions or manage the emotions and behaviors of students. So they bring this program into your schools as quiet time, but what they're actually doing is introducing your children to religious practices that you're not aware of because they're using a different name. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware. It's called quiet time. Can somebody put that in the comments? Somebody put quiet time in the comments so that we can be aware of the name that is being used when it's in the schools. They may not call it Transcendental Meditation. They may not call it TM. They will use a different name, and one that has been being used is quiet time. So again, if we are not informed about these things, we cannot help. Thank you so much, Cassandra. Quiet time is what it's called. So you want to make sure that you get involved and you know if they're having something called quiet time at your schools. This is what he's on talking about. Again, I want to put the information up about the book, Transcendental Deception by Areyah Siegler. This is great information so that you can know how your children are being deceived and the things that they're doing to deceive them, and also make them feel just completely uncomfortable. Continue, Mr.
Well, actually, I just wanted to let them know how they even operate in the schools. Like I was at the schools consistently, and I saw students being reprimanded for not participating.
Wow.
Punishments for not participating. They would get bribes if they did participate. So there's an incentive for cooperating, but punishment essentially for not participating. And Amante, can you share with them what happened to you when you didn't want to do it anymore?
I remember a TM teacher coming to one of my classrooms during the quiet time, and I was trying to convince some peers not to do the meditation, and he basically tried to shut me down about it, and I kept it going, telling them, like, you know, don't do that. And I was taken to the principal's office twice, actually, for the same thing. And they were, like, telling me, like, I didn't know what I was saying, and that I didn't work there, and I didn't have any real right, or wasn't in a position to tell anybody anything about the program, and I was warned, threatened with suspension.
Wow. So again, you guys, we're talking about transcendental meditation that is called Quiet Time within the schools. Thank you so much, Amante. Thank you so much, Dasia. They have been in this fight for some time, as well as Areyah, and he just shared some pertinent information that we should know, that he was not only brought into this deception, he was not only brought into it, but then when he said that he did not want to be a part, and he told other students, he was punished, and not just warned, but that's a threat. To say that, to tell a child that you will be suspended if you tell someone else, that's a threat. And so I know that some of you guys are on here saying that they cannot do that without parents' consent. Absolutely. Deja will respond to that.
So I've actually seen the consent forms that they give to the parents, and it's not an informed consent. They don't tell you that they're going to take your child to do a ritual. They don't tell you that the meaning of the meditation mantra is actually a Hindu deity. They don't tell you that there is a religious aspect to this. In fact, they flat out lie to you and say it's non-religious. They tell you it has all these benefits, but they don't tell you any of the research, the independent studies that have shown negative effects of TM. So you can sign it if you want, but you don't really know what you're signing. They tell you like a lie in a watered down version of what they're actually doing.
And this is why it's important, you guys, for you to know the language that's being used, because if you don't know the language that they're using to cover up TM, to cover up transcendental meditation, what's going to happen is they're going to have your children engaging into these things, and you're not going to know, because you're going to think, oh, it's just quiet time. Oh, they wouldn't do that. So again, Mr. Areyah, is there anything else that you want to add to that?
I think you guys covered it very well. I think that, like, what would really be very helpful is if people in Chicago and the cities that have these quiet time programs would write to the Board of Education, to the president of the Board of Education or whoever, and say this is really offensive. One of the things that I was taken with when Dasia and Jade made the presentation to the Board of Education, and also from Amante's letter, was that it goes against the religion in their homes. They understand that even if they don't understand what the language of the puja is, they understand enough to know that this isn't Christian, it's not Jewish, it's against the practice of their own families, and it's being imposed on them without anybody telling them the truth about what it is. I mean, if they were open about it, if they said this is what it is and this is what you're doing and you have a free choice to do it, I don't have such a big problem. But they lie about it, and basically they're imposing something that's against the religion of probably 98% of the kids in the Chicago school system and the San Francisco school system and the New York school system. So, like, we really need to stop it. We just need to stop it. And if Chicago goes down, all the other cities will go down also. And one last point, they won't tell you this, but like San Francisco was their big model program. 6 major schools in San Francisco have the TM program. 5 of them dropped the program. In one school, 28 out of 34 teachers voted to drop the program. And it's basically
Can you say that again? Can you give that statistic to us again, please? Can you give that to us one more time?
Well, what I was saying was that in San Francisco, the Quiet Time program was like the model program for TM. It was in 6 middle and high schools. Within 2 years, 5 of the schools dropped the program.
Wow.
And the last school, it's on life support. So it's like almost dead there. So,
wow.
So it's where it is, it fails. But like,
But that was the birthing place. Is that what you're saying? That was like the
that was the first major program. First major
wow.
program in public schools. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's I think that like I think what I just want to say what Dasia and everybody is doing, the parents groups in Chicago, it's really, really leading the way to closing this down. More than anything else, to have people in the community who are directly affected by it is extraordinarily helpful. And it's brave because, like if you're a kid in school and you've got this going on, and I know, I think Amante, I heard you say that you told the principal it was religious, and he said, no, it's not religious. I mean, it's like, so you're a young man up against some big authority figure who's actually gone through this process, and how can you not think it's religious if you've gone through it? I mean, it's like, where your mind goes off into like some kind of another world. I mean, that's what's so frustrating. I mean, it's
wow.
like crazy.
And I'm sure that they're not. Being, just forthcoming with that information. And so, is there anything else you wanna share? I know that a lot of the followers may have questions. So what I want to do now, if that's okay with you, what I want to do is open it up. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put your questions in the comment section. If you have any questions for Amante, if you have any questions for Dasia, or if you have any questions for Mr. Areyah, please leave them in the comment section. I will read them off, and they will answer them to the best of their ability. So go ahead and leave those questions.
While they're doing that, I'll just make a couple more comments. One is that TM will tell you that there's never any negative effects. You can't do it wrong. There's no negative effects. The reality is as Dasia was saying, if you just do it 20 minutes twice a day or 15 minutes, you probably won't have big effects. But the TM program wants you to go to more advanced classes, to go to weekend retreats, to be encouraged to meditate more and more and more. And then there's a big frequency of very, very serious mental effects and all kinds of casualties. They say there's no effects. I have an entire chapter in my book on TM casualties, from depression, psychosis, all kinds of issues. And in fact, the TM organization was sued by, I think, something like 17 people or 16 people, and they settled with them. They wouldn't go to court with them and they made big settlements. We're talking about like in the early 80s, where they're paying like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, which is a lot of money then. It's a lot of money today, to not go to court. And the other thing is that TM has already been declared illegal in the public schools in New Jersey.
Wait, say that again. You said
TM has already been declared illegal in the public schools. There was a court case in New Jersey, and it was thrown out of the New Jersey public schools, where they had 5 high schools doing TM, thousands of kids, and it was tossed out. It was found to be a violation of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment of the Constitution that separates church and state. And that's it's clear law, and it's just amazing that the attorneys for these schools who are supposed to be doing the due diligence on programs that come in are failing. And there's one other point I just want to make that I think is like really important. When a teacher is in a public school, they're vetted. People understand who they are, what their background is, and if they have issues, they're not allowed to teach. These TM teachers come in, and very little is known about them. So now you have a situation where somebody who's really not vetted in the same way in the school as a regular teacher is, taking kids 1 or 2 out of the classroom, down the hall to a small, dark room with the shades covered up, with incense and candles and spending a half hour with them or an hour. And then on top of that, they tell you that, like, don't tell anybody what goes on in this room, including your parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't tell your parents anything about what you learned here, about the ceremony, about your mantra, anything like that. And this is like keeping secrets from parents is the number one rule that people who are concerned about pedophilia are concerned about. You don't keep secrets from strangers from your parents. It's just like really ridiculous. The whole thing is just
Can you
needs to be shut down.
Can you speak to that really quick, Amante? He said that they take you into dark rooms. And again, everybody, if you don't know, this is Amante. Amante was actually involved in the actual program called Quiet Time in the schools. So this is not just some information that we're just spewing out that we don't know. Dasia worked in the schools with the students. She saw it happening. And this is an actual student who actually experienced these things, who can speak to this. And can you just give us just maybe 2 minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up here. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. So I remember them giving me the instructions, saying to relax my mind and body and close my eyes, hold my candle, listen closely to the chant or song or whatever it is. And once I repeat the mantra and finish the meditation, they would tell me not to share anything I saw or what I learned, and that everybody was supposed to have their own thing, and how it's supposed to be confidential from your peers and parents and teachers and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the students that I talked to, 99% of them all said at the end of their stories, they told them, what happens in this room stays in this room. Wow. And that's what troubled me. Wow. If you're telling a child to keep secrets, like Areyah said, that's the number one rule you teach for pedophilia, to protect your children. And you're telling children you're telling them to keep secrets from their parents. It's unacceptable. Wow.
So just to give an overview, we want to wrap it up a little bit here. This is Amante, Dasia Prosper. Make sure you follow her her page really quickly on you can go to Facebook, and you can go to Parents Against TM. Type that in the search bar on Facebook, Parents Against TM. I believe she's going to also be developing a Instagram page. Is it going to be the same name, Parents Against TM?
Yeah, that's available.
Okay. And so just really quickly, make sure that you guys go to Lori Lightfoot. Let me tell you who Lori Lightfoot is. Lori Lightfoot is the new mayor of Chicago. So if you would like to help, if you would like to get involved, you can go to Lori Lightfoot's Instagram page at Chicago's Mayor. Again, Lori Lightfoot is the mayor of Chicago. Her Instagram page is Chicago's Mayor, and you can comment on her post talking about young people in Chicago, telling her why she needs to take TM, Transcendental Meditation, out of schools. Make sure you use the hashtag NoTM in schools. So that's NoTMIN schools. Got that?
Without
just spelled out. Without an S?
Yes.
NoTM in school. No TM in school. If you have an idea of what you want to say, you can say that. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah.
Can I make one more comment?
Absolutely.
There's a website that I've developed called tmdeception.com.
Okay,
it has a huge amount of information on it. It has video clips of TM executives doing literally insane stuff. I mean, this is a cult. There's no doubt about it, and they cover it up. If you go to tmdeception.com and look at the videos, you'll see what we're really dealing with. It's just extraordinarily crazy.
Wow. Thank you for that information. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my comments. I'm putting go to tmdeception.com. I'm also putting the information for your book. I'm also leaving the information for the Facebook page called Parents Against TM. And I want to make sure you guys get involved and you know how to get involved. So again, we talked about going to the mayor of Chicago. Her Instagram page is called Chicago's Mayor. And use the hashtag NoTM in school. No. And yeah, go ahead. Can somebody put that in the comment section? Put hashtag no TM in school. Hashtag no TM in school. If one of the followers can go ahead and put that, that'd be awesome. Is there any other ways they can get involved, Dasia? Dasia is spearheading this, not just with CPS, but across the nation.
Yes.
So how can they get involved?
So you can get involved. You know, if you want to donate, there is an option for you to donate on our Facebook page. I will be starting an Instagram page. But tonight, if you can definitely go to Lori's page, that would be the
Lori Lightfoot.
Lori Lightfoot, the mayor. If you can go to her page right now after we get off this live and just put a comment on why you feel that she should remove the TM program from schools. And make sure you use the hashtag no TM in schools. And if you need help or an idea of what to say, something you can say is, don't tell our kids what God's to worship. You know, TM is hurting our children. So we definitely want to make it clear so that she understands how you all feel. So that would be very helpful. And we really appreciate you. And we appreciate Shanta. Give it up to Shanta. Woo! Because we have so many celebrities who are endorsing things and they don't really do the research. They don't really know what's going on. And she is so brave to step out here and be bold enough to say, this is not right. I'm going to use my platform to share the truth so that other students can be safeguarded from things that are harmful to them. So we just want to thank Shanta so much. We love you, girl.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Amante, you guys give it up for Amante. I know we can't hit the clap, but that's all.
Thank you, Shanta. Thank you, Amante.
For being that brave student to speak out. You guys, we have so many, I was telling them this earlier, there's a lot of young men who are doing a lot of other things that are not helping society, that's not helping to expose really the wickedness. And so we just want to clap it up for him. He's like a artist, he raps and stuff. He's going to tell you about that like maybe next time. And then also for this amazing author who wrote this book, I'm going to put it up one more time, Areyah Siegler. That's for you. Thank you for doing, just doing the research. We are working as a team, you guys. I'm kind of coming in new, you know what I mean? Dasia's been doing this. Areyah's been doing this even longer. And so, and Amante, he's just here. And so we would appreciate the support. Remember, we have put all the information here. I'm also going to save this video. I'm going to upload it on my YouTube page. I believe Areyah Siegler is going to upload it on his website. That is tmdeception.com. And then you can find this same video on Dasia's Facebook page, and it's called Prayers Against TM. So we want to wrap it up. Parents Against TM. Excuse me, not prayers, but we can keep those too.
We could use the Prayers Against TM also.
Okay, cool. So good. We got it. All right. But thank you so much. I think this is great. Does anybody have any questions? I want to make sure I open it up for questions. We're going to give you guys 2 minutes to post questions, and if not, we're going to wrap it up. But I think this has been extremely informative. I think someone said, how can we help? Tiffany, ask the question again. Well, while you guys are writing your questions,
just remind me about the call to action.
Oh, the call to action.
Go to Mayor Lori Lightfoot's Instagram page, guys. That's
Chicago's
so
mayor.
Key. That's
Chicago's mayor. Chicago's mayor.
The most recent post that she put on there, I want you all to go to that most recent post. It's a white image, and she has some wording.
I'll put it in my story.
She put it in the story. Okay,
I'll put it in my story.
Awesome. So go to that post and comment on there why you think TM should be removed from schools. Again, using the hashtag no TM in school.
Okay. And Tiffany,
there's a great question there, which was how can the churches help and be informed about what's going on? The ministers, reverends, preachers are key to putting pressure on the schools to drop this. They are more concerned about if a man of the cloth goes and protests and says this is against our religion. It's very, very powerful. It's very hard for them to ignore it. So even if at some point Dasia and some of the parents went back to the Board of Education with some clergy with them, I think it would be extremely, extremely powerful. So,
and I'm clergy, so I can help with that.
Okay, well and you should go with her, and you could sing a song to the board, and
Absolutely.
and get them in a good mood.
Absolutely. I do whatever is in my power to do, I will, because I'm a believer in this. I just want to say this. I am so grateful that I even found out about this, because I tell people about yoga a lot of times, about how a lot of times they bring it in, you know, with using yoga practices. And I know a lot of people who were, well, not a whole lot of people, but I know some people who were former yogis, and they were trying to bring that in. And, you know, people are like, oh, it's harmless, it's health and wellness. Like you said, they use the term health and wellness. They use all these terms. So I don't see that there's any more questions. Are all the children protected by the First Amendment? I'm not sure what you're asking, but I think that you're saying, are the children protected by the First Amendment as far as them speaking out?
Right. So the First Amendment they're referring to is a separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
That is in there, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, we have to come together to
Mm-hmm.
enforce that, because
Yes.
there's so much propaganda and marketing from Transcendental Meditation that's stating that it's not religious. So that's the whole problem, that they're saying it's not religious in spite of, you know, what students are saying they're being
Mm-hmm.
put through. So we just have to get past that lie and have more students speak out, more clergy speak out, just more people speaking out, so that they
Mm-hmm.
can actually pay attention and take it to court again.
Absolutely.
You're just gonna have to go back to court.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so I think we gave all the good information. Make sure you go to tmdeception.com. Make sure you go to Facebook and go to Parents Against TM. Make sure you get this book by Areyah Siegler. You're already following me, so make sure you follow at TM Deception. How can we best support you all in addition to finance and prayer and posting? So what we said was go to school boards. So I saw a lot of people put senators and all that. Start with the school boards. Make sure you know what's happening at the school. See if you have a quiet time program at the school in your area. So check out if they have a quiet time program. Check out if they have any form of meditation. Find out if it is transcendental meditation. And again, like Dasia said, like Mr. Siegler has said, make sure that you write a letter to the school board. It's important that you use the proper channels. We want to go to the school board, and we want to make sure that if you're in Chicago, you go to Mayor Lori Lightfoot. So those are the key entities that you're going to go to. Before we go to senators, I saw somebody put that. Make sure you're going to the school boards. Make sure you know what is actually happening in the schools, so that you will have an informed opinion, so that you don't just look like you're just going up saying something like, well, this is going on in another state. You want to make sure you know what's going on in your city, in your state, at the schools, in the local area that you're in. We're going to go ahead and tune out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Mr. Siegler. Thank you, Amante. Thank you, Dasia. And bye.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
Glad you're on our team.
Absolutely.